Good afternoon, Facebook, and I'm not in glorious crisp mode today because my Logitech camera has switched itself off. I'm waiting for David to arrive and we can make a start. Hopefully my sound is okay. If you are on Facebook, you can say hello. If you want to join us on camera, then just click the link that's up above. I'm hoping that David will join me shortly, and then we can begin the show. I'm also hoping to sort out my Logitech camera. So there you have it. Nothing ever goes smoothly in live broadcasting, and when your camera cannot be connected, you have a problem. As I say, I'm hoping David will come in and come to my rescue in a moment. If you've got any questions about live broadcasting, then please ask them. If you can see me, say hello, and we'll take it from there. You can see the difference if you've watched the video from earlier, which had the Logitech C920 camera. I'm now on the other camera, and the quality is not quite the same. I'm just checking to see that David is around, and he was earlier. So this is going to be an interesting show. I'm going to go out to Facebook and check that I am actually live. So if you can see me on Facebook, if you can just say hello. And if you want to join us, then click the link up above. Right. All right. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for that. The second camera is not quite as good as the first. I'm still waiting for David to arrive. He's undoubtedly been delayed somewhere. And he and I did want to talk about today two things. Hopefully, how's my sound, Robert? Can you just comment on the sound? Okay, I've invited David into the show. I'm going to change the layout. And hopefully David will be with me in a moment, just waiting for his camera to come through, and all be well. And there are more chats, right? And thank you, Robert. That's good to know, because that's one of the topics for today as David arrives. Hello. Right. Okay. Now I know you've got the sound.
Close some blinds.
Okay. Fine. Yes. It just goes to our topic to today, and Chris is saying that the picture is okay, so that's good. And Robert is saying the sound is good, because that's one of our topics for today. If you have any questions about going live, then please ask. Now, my problem today is that I was broadcasting earlier on my C920, which gives a nice, crisp, clear picture, just like David's got. And my C920, you have, compared to mine, my C920 has gone. It's disappeared from my desktop. Windows did an update, so I'm going to have to bring that back later. But the show must go on. But the first thing I want to talk about is sound and the importance of sound, because you did a show a couple of weeks back now. And Robert is saying my camera is fuzzy. And yes, this is the point that we're going to make this afternoon about cameras and about sound. I'm unfortunately going to stay fuzzy for the show, but hopefully my sound will be okay. And I think that the first point is that if the sound is okay in the video, then people will tend to stay and watch. Your thoughts, David?
Oh, my thoughts. I thought you were talking.
Yeah, well, you're the only person in the room at the moment. We're waiting for other people to arrive.
Yes, I can say that, yeah, if your audio is good, then a lot of times the video, while it's important, doesn't matter as much because at least people can still hear you. Unless whatever you're trying to broadcast is visual, or unless whatever you're trying to do is, show.
Yep.
Then, yeah, you want better quality.
Yeah,
and I would like to say that Stephen did give me a laugh a few minutes ago. He gave a moron. He said, "Windows updating, be back soon." Two sentences that never go together very well.
No,
so.
no, they don't. I mean, it was incredibly quick, and then I realised that it knocked out my Logitech camera, and I thought, what do we do? We've got to go on air. So the show must go on with a very clear David and a fuzzy me. And if you want to join us in the show, just click the link up above. But the quality of sound is important, and I watched a show yesterday which did have problems, and it was difficult to stay with because I was watching the replay. Difficult to stay with the sound because the grating sound is a distraction, total distraction. You've got to
and it can make it very difficult to follow along. And again, unless what you're doing is very visual, if you're painting something, but if you are describing how to do it, then, it really depends. So yeah, sound is just as important, if not a little bit more important, when it comes to, your videos, your live videos, whatever it is that you're doing. And definitely if you're doing a podcast, then audio is.
Well, yeah, I mean that. Yeah. I mean, it's audio that's most important within a podcast because there's nothing else but audio. Right. Corinda is going to join us for a moment, so just invite Corinda in. And anybody else who's watching, if you want to join the show today, then please do. And I'm just checking Corinda's signal to make sure that everything's okay. Now, YouTube have made change. Well, they seem to have made changes, David, to mobile, or the requirements for mobile.
Yeah, and I saw that article last week, and of course I was one to sit there and go, ooh, let me go check. And of course, being on iOS, I don't have it. I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, as many creators as they have, maybe YouTube is opening it up to more. They did say soon.
Yep.
After they had announced about the channels that had 10,000 subscribers or more. But what has been noticed, I believe, is that everybody that has gotten it, and my device is not powered up, so I'm going to charge it up and I'll check later on, is that everybody that had gotten it that was below 10,000 subscribers on a particular channel in YouTube was on an Android device or using an Android device. And, that's another possibility is Android's Google, YouTube's Google. So they could be giving some favor there. It could have been some kind of screw up. I don't know. I don't have it, or at least I don't think I have it.
I don't have it either. I was checking and looking for you find the record button, and underneath that is the go live, and it's not there. So we'll have to wait. Corinda, I'm going to invite you in again. That first time didn't work, so if we can try again, please. Now the other thing, we were on air last Monday afternoon, weren't we? And after that, changes took place on another platform.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I think the first thing is that I'm going to bring a point up here that we have to be able to talk about other platforms on other platforms, because otherwise we can't get the news out. Because when we live on Smiletime, obviously we're going to give the kudos to Smiletime, but I think we do have to be able to talk about other platforms. And so in that vein, I just want to say I'm enjoying checking out BeLive.tv and the three people on screen. Now, what I'm going to do later today is I'm going to do a comparison of Smiletime and BeLive, because they are very close, aren't they, in terms of what they can do? I mean,
yeah, a little bit. If you look at the basics of it, multi-people on camera, yeah, both of them allow it now. Captions, yes, both of them they'll allow it now. We kind of already have a lower third per person on Smiletime, or at least for the guest, not the host. So yeah, but in those ways, I guess that's kind of it, and then from there. You can't pop up pictures and BeLive, and all these little
I mean, but we do know that I hate to mention it on Smiletime, but BeLive are going to have screen share.
And
No,
there's marketing.
that's a no-no from 2 points of view. We'll just have to see. I mean, what effect it does have.
I don't think we have to wait and see what effect it's going to have. We know what effect it's going to have. It's going to have the exact same effect it's had on every other platform that's out there. As soon as you introduce that, you take it from something interactive and engaging to a marketing platform.
That's right. It becomes a webinar, doesn't it?
It becomes real. Yep. Webinar becomes a one-to-many. But again, it's fine. Everybody can. There goes Steven taking himself off. Now his picture got really clear. He looks like font.
Yes, that was a mistake.
I don't. All I can say is that screen share has never been something that I've really pushed for on any of the platforms. No. After I realized what would happen, and so yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's Chris, and hello, Chris, hello, Corinda, hello, Peter. It does really go down to how people are going to actually be using it. Mm-hmm. And hello to Aaron as well. Good to see Aaron as well. And it goes down to how people are going to use it, doesn't it? Because if you turn it into a webinar platform and you start just using it to market, then you're losing the networking aspect of live video. Because the whole thing about live video is that you actually acknowledge people who are watching, and Corinda is agreeing, because it's an interactive experience, and to have screen share can detract from that.
Yes. And one of the bigger differences between BeLive and Smiletime or some of the other platforms, but mainly like BeLive and I guess everybody else. BeLive is a tool for Facebook.
Yep.
Plain and simple. There's no separate platform. There's no separate area. It is what it is. So it relies completely on, or you rely completely when using BeLive on the fact that your Facebook audience is going to attend and wants to attend. Yep. So, again, one of my issues with, I guess, screen share and BeLive would be, there's already the thing about your news feed now getting filled up with video. Now your news feed getting filled up with video of somebody doing a webinar. Is that something that you really, really want? Is this the area that you go to? I don't really care about the numbers. Okay, 1.8 billion doesn't mean a frickin' thing. Because one, you don't have an audience of 1.8 billion. I don't even think Facebook has an audience of 1.8 billion. So I don't know. And an interesting observation, I guess. And this kind of goes along the lines with the conversation that Robert Stern and I have had, that Robert had pointed something out to several people, is that it's become very noticeable when using Facebook and you are posting images, and you're posting images on using anything other than native Facebook. So the upload or your mobile device or whatever it is that's using Facebook. So any of these Hootsuite or any of the, anything else that would be able to post to your Facebook timeline or your business page timeline, that we already know organic reach is like dropped.
Yep.
And but that organic reach of video was like higher, and that's because, of course, Facebook wants more video used on their platform. They don't want YouTube video shared and all this type of stuff. So they were giving more leeway to it. But when you share an image, if you use anything third party versus doing it native, then what happens is your it doesn't appear in those that you're following's news feed as often or as frequently as it would if you had actually posted using just native Facebook stuff. And it's been observed that that's now happening with live video. That when using something not native to Facebook to go live, that the audience retention seems to be going down. And I actually called this.
Right. Okay.
Weeks ago or a few months ago or something. I said, you wait and you watch. Facebook's being all friendly right now, but pretty soon Facebook's going to do Facebook. And they're going to be like, you know, we're improving. We don't feel we need to give you as much reach when you use a third-party app. So there's that as well.
Well, there is. I mean, it is Facebook's field, isn't it? It's their stadium. We're playing in their stadium. So they can, whenever they wish, they can change the rules. And are we still here?
Yeah, we're still here. We're still on Facebook. So anybody that's in Smiletime and might be having an issue, just refresh.
Right. Okay.
And see if
that goes to Corinda,
because we're still broadcasting to Facebook just fine. So
yeah. And Raven, hello. And if you can, right, Peter says he's back. And I'm going to take Peter at his word and bring Peter in. And I'm going to try Corinda again. So we'll go for broke. This is the sort of problem we had last Thursday morning. Corinda's saying he can now see us, which is better. Good.
Yep.
So we've got a better chance of you actually coming in the show. And Corinda, I can see a photograph, but I can't actually see you. This is what I can see at the moment. Can you? Right. Okay. We have Corinda. Let's change this around a bit. Just excuse me a moment, David, while I change this up, and we'll try to get. I'm not sure about Peter's feed. Right. Hello, Corinda.
No, I don't see Corinda. All I see and all Facebook sees is Corinda's avatar.
Right. Okay. Corinda, that's a no. We'll have to try again in a minute. You did come through for a second. Peter, that's a no. If you want to try again, gentlemen.
The only other thing I can say, Stephen, is maybe you want to refresh.
That might be an idea. I'm going to refresh. So, David, over to you.
Please hold. So now we're going to see what's up with, and then, you know, what's going to end up happening is I will probably have to refresh. All right, Steven's back. Let's see if we see him on Facebook. We are not seeing you on Facebook. That's correct. We see your avatar, but we're not seeing you on Facebook. I honestly, Stephen, probably I'm the only one who's able to see you. No, Corinda, we shall not. Nice try, though. The joys of live streaming, Alexander says. Yes, absolutely. Alexander, is anyone else able to see Stephen, or are they just seeing, and this is Facebook, I know, because I have Facebook up, but is anybody else in Smiletime able to see Stephen? Or is he just his avatar, just his picture? And it's only me. Now we see blabbing for Britain. I see blabbing for Britain. The joys of Manicam. Yep, so they're not seeing you in Smiletime either. It's just the avatar. All right, let's see what that did.
Okay. I'm going to take myself, I'm going to try one again. I'm going to take myself off. Did that work?
Oh, no.
It'll be about 15 seconds, won't it, between the time difference between here and...
A little bit. Okay, Facebook. I see you on Facebook.
Right, okay, that worked. So, that was good. This is the try it and test it session of video streaming advice, where we show what to do when things go wrong. And everything that can go wrong is going wrong today.
It's all because Stephen and his C920 is not functioning.
That was the original problem. I'm going to invite Peter in again. Third time, well, probably fifth time lucky. If I can see you, I'll bring you on air. If I can't, I won't. I am aware that my video and voice may be out of sync, or that I may be choppy. All these things are all part of going live. Okay. Right, and we've got a bingo from Alexander, just to show that we're live when we can see the comments. Okay.
Murphy does all.
No, this is a Smiletime show, so we can't actually go on Be Live TV. That would be going against the grain. And Cornelius is watching us from the phone, and it's good visual and voice. So, certainly, David is good visual. And my voice is good, so combined, I suppose that's about it. Right, okay, now, I listened to Eileen the other day, as we should, and I listened to you as well, and you're both pushing going live on YouTube.
Yep.
And you were saying that it would be nice if Smiletime and the other channel could go live to YouTube.
Yep.
That's the short answer to what I've just said. Why? Okay, let's just explore this for a moment. Let's just explore this for a moment and see if we can look. We've got... Oh. David, can you just say hi again, please? This is live video. We are enjoying having fun, but if you can just say hello once more, I'll bring you back on screen. That was not Smiletime's fault. That was my fault. And I can't go outside this broadcast corridor to watch anything on FB because it's taking all my broadcasting skills. It's taking all my broadcasting skills to keep this going. Right, and the chats are coming in fast and furious. But before...
all right, I'm back on Facebook. I'm back.
Yeah, you're back here. You're back on Facebook. We're back live. And my last question to you, she replied yes, was should we be exploring YouTube? Do you want to expand as to why it's valuable to business and to personal?
I would rather win than look good. Absolutely. Alexander paid attention to a post I did. I don't even know when I did that. When did I do that? A couple weeks ago now. Where a lot of people are always worried about looking good. And, live video and screwing up and all these types of things that are going on. These are really, really good examples of looking good versus winning.
Right.
As long as you set expectations and kind of let everybody know, always play for the replay. Live video is still very new. It's all WebRTC mostly, and things can happen. And this would be one reason why I would not, this is a huge reason why I would not rely on a platform that's not designed for something mission critical. And this is Smiletime, this is Be Live, this is any of these types of platforms, because things can happen. And it can get very frustrating, and it can get very distracting, and it can detract you from where you're going, and then you end up not, delivering whatever it is valuable that you were wanting to deliver to impart upon the audience that you have. So these are all examples. So thanks a lot, Alexander. That was a really great. That was a great segue for that. Now, the YouTube.
Yep.
And why?
Yes.
And I kind of spoke roughly about this a few minutes ago with our news feeds and being filled up with video. Is that something really that you want on Facebook? Because I mean, honestly, Facebook just wants to be your everything. They want to be the destination. They want to be your Amazon. They want to be your. They've got ways for you to hire people. So now they want you to be your LinkedIn or your Upwork or whatever. They want to be the video destination for everybody. They want to be too much. YouTube's been around. They've lived through just about everything and with growing pains that Facebook is now trying to go through. It took years to do it, to build a peering network. And when I say a peering network, that means that you are not reliant upon a few destinations to be able to receive the same thing. It's a much wider net. It's a much wider access point. That's how you're able to get such great quality videos pretty much no matter where you are. That's how you're able to watch the exact same video, whether it be live or recorded, whether you've got 3G internet or you've got LTE, or you're sitting at home with fiber. You're getting the same. It may not be the same quality, but everything's been worked out as to according to the device that you have, the location, the speed, all these types of things. Those all go into the peering network. Then there's the closed ecosystem that Facebook is, pretty much. It's pretty much a walled garden versus YouTube, which is owned by Google and is the second largest search engine in the world. Anything that you do there just, pretty much has instant SEO to it, because it gets it gets picked up by Google, it gets picked up by YouTube, so depending on your title and all that type of stuff depends on various different things. One of the things that I do for local businesses in regards to video is that I can get them ranked page 1 on Google within a matter of seconds of posting a video based on a certain criteria. You can't do that anywhere else. You can't even do that within Facebook. Facebook's algorithm doesn't even. Now Steven's cutting in and out on me. And I'm still here, but Steven's gone pretty much from Facebook. Nope, now he's back from Facebook. Steven, can you hear me? Yeah, 4G is LTE to me. Same thing. But yeah, you're right. Steven, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You've been blipping in and out, and now you're...
My apologies for that. My processor
was cooking?
Was cooking. Basically, this is a good day. I was a month ago using VideoStreaming. As David will attest to.
We're not seeing you on YouTube either. I mean, on Facebook. Oops. Yep, I'm waiting to see.
That was the Medicam situation. So sometimes introvert because I like to switch Medicam on myself.
Yep.
Hopefully I'll be back on Facebook.
Nope. You're going to have to kick yourself off and come back.
Okay, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take myself off.
Stephen will be right back with us. Please hold.
Bring myself back.
All right, he's brought himself back on Smiletime.
Okay.
And let's see if you show up on Facebook.
Indeed.
And you showed up on Facebook.
Good. Right. Okay. So this is a practical lesson. First of all, use Medicam sparingly. Secondly, if you are in Medicam and you get a problem, take yourself off. change the settings on Smiletime to use the camera that you've got. And I've only got this one at the moment. And then take yourself off, refresh, and come back. It can be done. And the more you do it, the better you get at it and the smoother it gets. So hopefully,
and that's a good point, Stephen, is the more you do it. So, you know, the only way you learn it is by going live more often. And when you go live more often, you're going to encounter situations. And as you encounter those situations, you're going to try and work through those situations so you can talk to others about what happened and what to try and all these different types of things.
That's right. I mean, you don't get anywhere by getting it right all the time. You've got to make mistakes.
You are never going to come out 100%. I'm sorry. No matter what it is, what platform or service or whatever, there's always going to be something that happens. So.
Right. And Alexander's remarked that there's a delay between Facebook and Smiletime. We can agree with that. It varies between 10 and 20 seconds, depending on the processing that's being done between here and Facebook, because Facebook have to Smiletime have to process this video and Facebook have to pre-process it. So there's going to be a lag. Is that fair?
It is. Very long delay between Smiletime and Facebook. Did not know it was that long. That's interesting. It's usually not as long of a delay on Facebook than when you're actually listening to, when you're actually a part of the audience over on Smiletime. But maybe Facebook's got things going on, which...
Well, shall we do a test here? Because we've done lots of tests during the course of this afternoon.
Sure. So...
I'm going to take myself off camera and then I'll bring myself back and see what the delay is. So I'm going to go now.
Well, now that I'm not going to have the delay.
Bring myself back. So
yeah, I'm not going to see the delay, so we're going to be relying on somebody else.
Right. If anybody could tell us what the delay is between my reappearing.
I would say it's about 5 seconds between
what
we broadcast, between 5 and 8 seconds. It could be more than that.
Right. Okay.
And that's here and Facebook. But again, people also need to understand that there is going to be a little bit more delay here than if you were watching on Facebook, because Facebook is simply receiving what's in the video. They're not receiving any of the chat or the chat spotlight or anything of that nature, or the people that are in here. And they're not receiving you. If you were watching on Facebook, you were receiving one video versus if you were watching here in Smiletime, you are receiving at the moment 2 videos. You're receiving mine and you're receiving Stephen's, because that's how WebRTC works. It separates it out. That's also, if everybody wants to know, that's something that that YouTube fixed a long time ago, that they had been through those pains of, even with Hangouts on air, and as horrendous as that was to some people at some time, you never received more than one video signal. Everything was stitched together and brought to you as one video signal. That is one reason that a lot of people would complain about the long delay, sometimes almost close to a minute. It depends on what you're watching, the resolution that you're actually watching in the mobile device and all these things, because YouTube takes the video and they chop it up into as many different resolutions as they possibly can that are available. So if you're broadcasting in 720, then they chop it up, and people are able to receive anywhere from 720 all the way down to 144. Right. Which is really, really grainy pixelated. However, if you're in a really poor coverage area, mobile-wise, and you're barely getting 3G, you might even be getting 2G, then 144 might be all that you can really be handled to push it over to you. That's one of the things that happen. That's one of the reasons that the delay is that they take it and then they chop it up in those individual. So if I broadcast in 720 and you're watching in 720, you actually had less of a delay than somebody that was watching it in 360. Facebook says they deliver sometimes live video in an HD picture. I've struggled to actually see it in an actual HD. I've seen it at 480. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
But I've struggled to see it in a 720. And you're probably never going to see it in a 1080 anytime soon, because that's just lots of bandwidth that people don't have. Now, when Facebook did push the Facebook app, Facebook Live app on the Apple TV devices, that had to, so they're doing 720 there.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also a bit of a more delay. I have tracked that. So anyway, it's just,
Yep.
peaches and oranges.
Back to point made by Alexander earlier, you can't watch both this on Smiletime and Facebook Live. No, you can't, because the difference. And the second thing is, especially if you're actually in the show, then it's going to tax your processor. Your CPU usage will go up through the roof. So I never watch the Facebook Live feed when I'm in here, ever. I can see your comments from Facebook, so I don't need to go to the page, and I never watch it because, as David said, all the signals are being fed through our computers, and to actually have two pages open at the same time, both showing the same live feed video, it might bring us to a grinding halt. And after everything else that's happened today, that's the last thing I want. I'd just like to say hello to Peter Nez, and right, okay. Now, this comes to another point which Corinda's just made, and David's video and sound is syncing perfectly for me, but the sound and the vision travel separately, don't they? And then they recombine. So that's why we get the sync problems.
Yes. I hear Stephen, is it me or David video not syncing more than David sync?
Right. He's saying that you're slightly out of sync. I think I was slightly out of sync earlier. I think that there's nothing we can do about that from here. It either syncs or it doesn't sync. And we have found that whilst it's perfect here, and it's perfect when you're watching live, sometimes when you watch the replay, a sync, an unsync, a dissynchronization between voice and video does appear, and there's nothing you can do about it. If we found when we were replaying these videos, and we do that when I'm uploading to YouTube just to check out the quality, as David says, it's not HD, but you just need to check it out. I've discovered that in watching it back, there is a degradation regards the synchronization. And what I do, if the video is important, and of course all the shows that David and I do are important, what I actually do sometimes is to actually watch it live on Facebook and re-record it, or watch the replay on Facebook and re-record it with Screencast-O-Matic, and then I have a 720 video with synchronized sound. But that's a long way around, and we shouldn't have to do that.
Correct.
And you just answered Alex's, do comments pull into Smiletime and vice versa? Right.
Yes.
Yep, it's a yep. We can see all your comments, and we can display them on the screen, and we can reply to them virtually in real time. They get here as soon as you finish typing, it heads over to here, and we can react to it, and we can highlight it on screen, and that works perfectly. God. Is there anything else that can go wrong today? I'm just.
Oh, don't say that.
No. I won't tempt fate. I'm going to try and invite Peter in, but let's not let me do that either. I'm going to try and get Peter in as a VIP. Just a minute. So what I'm doing now is we can invite people in via what's called a VIP link, and I've copied the VIP link. I'm going into Messenger, and if I can type Peter's name correctly and head to his conversation. No, that didn't work. Just bear with me. This is live video. And I just pasted the link to Peter so that Peter can actually join us directly on screen, and hopefully that might overcome any problems. If that is the case, then I'll do the same for Corinda. but it is one step at a time. There are two ways to invite people here onto the screen with David and I. One is you click the link above, say hello, and we'll bring you in, or we can send out a direct link, which I might just post that in future shows. It'd make life a lot easier.
You could.
Right, okay, and question from Corinda. Can Smiletime do recording from YouTube as well?
No.
Right.
In fact, I'm not sure I really understand.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Okay. YouTube? No.
No,
they could. They just don't. They haven't built that part of the functionality into it. So yes, it could happen.
Well, they're in a better position than other broadcasters to do that, aren't they? Because they're not integrated to the same extent. I mean, what happens here is the whole experience is within Smiletime, and the only thing that's coming in the comments, they could go to the YouTube API and feed out directly to that without any impact on what's happening here.
They could.
They could.
You can't do both, and that's because Facebook has this stipulation where they say if you're going to broadcast to us, you can't broadcast to anybody else.
Well, that's true, and I think there's a little gameplay going on Facebook as well, because this is anecdotal. This is not proof. The views when you come in from certain platforms are higher than the views from other platforms, but I can't prove that, so I can't name names. Corinda, right, so you can't go from Smiletime to YouTube. You can't go from anywhere else to YouTube. In fact, there's nothing which is Smiletime like that goes to YouTube. What about you now? Why are you NLW?
You now goes to, you can broadcast YouTube. I think it only broadcasts to YouTube in 480, but I mean, yeah. You can use you now.
As there's definitely no conflict, I just want to, I think, bring this up on screen. If you're looking for a 4-person public chat that doesn't broadcast to anywhere, then you can go to wiki.party, which was founded by Kiki Share and Sarah, and you can go there 24/7, and they'll be grateful to see you, as they just celebrated their 2nd birthday. Well, we count live broadcasting birthdays in terms of weeks, so they've been going for 2 weeks. So congratulations to Kiki and the team, and it's a very small team as well. And thank you, Peter. We try to keep ahead of what's going on. It's very difficult. We do try. Today has been a practical demonstration in what to do when things go. I was going to say another expression, but I'm going to say when things go wrong. There's always a way out of it. There's the refresh button, and I shall be back next week with my C920. In fact, I shall be back tonight with a better picture. Right. Okay. Now this right. Corindo's expanded his question a bit, and he's now saying that he sees people go from FireTalk to YouTube. I think that there's a bit of Wirecast involved there, David. FireTalk.
You can, with FireTalk, you can post the video to YouTube after you're done, but it did not broadcast to YouTube directly.
Right.
But so if they are doing that, then yeah, it's probably using some other third-party app.
Yeah.
In which case they're using a virtual cam probably.
Yeah.
And broadcasting to YouTube and using the virtual cam to broadcast to FireTalk at the same time.
So they're capturing what's on the desktop into an app like OBS or Wirecast or vMix, to be fair to everybody.
Well, OBS wouldn't do it because OBS does not provide a virtual cam.
I discovered that.
It would probably be Wirecast or Manicam or something of that nature.
Okay.
Well, I guess you could use Manicam and OBS together. I don't know. I wouldn't try that. That's probably tempting fate.
Yeah, I'm not going to tempt any fate at all today. I'm not going to go on.
No, you have to get your camera back.
I've got to get my camera back for right. Thank you for that. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, on I'm actually giving hints and tips on the Jeff Adams show. If you search for Jeff Adams on Facebook, you'll find it. You also find it a link on my profile as well. And I'm looking forward to that because anything can happen and probably will. In fact, tonight he's talking to somebody whose speciality is the paranormal, who's been broadcasting about the paranormal for years. So I'm expecting that something unexpected will happen on the Jeff Adams show at 7 tonight, and I'm looking forward to being there with my C920 cam. I got around that. I didn't even mention the other company either. Yeah, this has been an interesting show. More ways than one. Anything that could go wrong has gone wrong. I'm just going to try again. I think Peter's gone off.
I think Peter said he had left Smiletime.
Right. Okay. I can't blame him. I just hope, because this is a shout out for Peter. Peter has a show at 7 to. I can say this properly. Peter has a show tonight at 7 p.m. on Smiletime, and he's talking to Maggie, and they will be talking about all things web. And I recommend that you go to the Talkinator page or look at the link down below on my page and join Peter at 7 o'clock as he talks to Maggie, and his interviews go very well. Normally I'm there to produce, but with this time difference thing, I'm double booked. So Peter is going to go live again on his own channel, and I've only one recommendation this week, Peter. If you're still watching us here, don't forget to press the Facebook Live button. Peter knows what I mean, and you should see him on Facebook Live tonight at 7.
I know you do.
Well, that's one of the things that I mean, we assume so much in this, and there's so much we're live on Facebook now. My camera is not the right camera. We've had problems going on and off screen. I did remember to press the Facebook Live though, so we are actually live on Facebook. There's so many things that can go wrong that it's a miracle sometimes that we actually get a show out. But we do implore you that if you are thinking of going live on video, don't let any of this put you off. Just do it. Just go live. Press that Facebook Live, because you've got Facebook Live now, haven't you? And that was a mystery, wasn't it?
What's that?
Going to native Facebook Live.
Oh yeah, I just got that for my timeline last week. Apparently, there was quite a few of us that got it last week for our timeline.
Yeah, Eileen. Yeah, yourself.
Eileen got it. It was funny. A lot of people. Eileen posted it, and here's the thing. Eileen does so much YouTube. Oh yeah. Eileen posted. A lot of people thought she was talking about going live on YouTube, not Facebook. So I guess it's all the platforms that you are and that you that you have. So yeah, but this is things can still happen. Even if you go live to YouTube, I guarantee that you're going to see a lot less issues going live to YouTube than you will any of these others. And that's just, again, because they've been in the game for so long. Right. The funny thing to note about that is that, YouTube wasn't the first video platform that it was or is. It simply became the best.
Yes,
there were platforms that were around before YouTube, and they didn't survive for one reason or another. So,
I mean, the quality.
And it's not to say that YouTube can't get replaced. It would just be very, very hard to do. Just too ingrained, too entrenched, not ingrained, but entrenched.
Right. So, when you go live on YouTube, which software do you use?
I do a mix. I use Webinar Jam a lot because they do publish to YouTube. I can use, although it should be disappearing sometime in April, I hope. You can go live so if you've got a channel, you can go live to YouTube from your desktop using the old Hangouts on Air functionality. They still have that. So when
Okay.
you go live, there's two options, and one of the options says quick. And with quick, it uses the Hangouts on Air, but it gives you all the stuff that you want to be able to do, screen share and all that type of stuff. And then I can use a mix between OBS or Wirecast or something of that nature, and that takes up, of course, more processing power and becomes more in depth. I also use my mobile device. There are other apps that allow you to go live to YouTube. I don't have it for the actual YouTube app at this time. So there's a lot of different choices to use.
No. Shall we do a YouTube centric show next week?
Sure.
About first steps of going live on YouTube. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Because we were always Facebook, and might be nice to have a change and look at YouTube, and sort of for the last 10 minutes of the show, pop over to YouTube. What do you think?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now,
and Corinder, you're correct. Stephen Haywood does use lots of streaming. He does. Most of his stuff is done. He's got a lot of equipment behind it, and he does a lot more. Yeah, he's not your average entrepreneur type person whose video is not their main thing, and they're just going live. He's got a lot of stuff behind it. He's done a lot of hard work, learning this and that and everything, and so he does produce something. Who else? Marty McPadden, I guess would be along the same levels. The thing about name dropping though is I may say, or you may say, Stephen Haywood or Marty McPadden or Eileen Smith or Stephen or David or Corinder or anything, and we may know who you're talking about, but everybody else may not know who you're talking about. It's kind of interesting as to, some people may actually not know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. I guarantee you'd probably be hard pressed to find him. But he doesn't exist in all circles. Or is light. That's the other thing. There's people out there that don't like Tony Robbins. People out there that don't like Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, to get big names and stuff. So,
yeah, indeed. Right, and Kevin's joined us. Hello, Kevin. And Kevin's point is, I just bought a wide 1.4K action cam, like GoPros, that you can go live on YouTube. A bit of hoop jumping, but it works. Are we going to see more and more cameras that go direct to YouTube, you think?
I don't, honestly, I really don't think there's an actual camera itself that actually just goes live. I mean, not even does. It still requires an app on a mobile device to help push it out there. The GoPros don't just go live. There's got to be some kind of connection internet-wise to get those devices online or something of that nature. So I'm and I've not heard of that, but to answer your question, Stephen, I think eventually at some point, maybe there will be just dedicated. It's kind of like smart televisions. Maybe there'll be smart cameras out there.
Indeed, and I just want to make a point here, because David and I are here for a reason today, and that's to help people go live in 2017. But we're here together partly here together because I actually enjoy a show where there is more than just me on screen. I've got to be honest about this. It's great when David and I can bounce ideas off each other and listen to each other and learn from each other, and you can join as well. And if you are looking to go live on screen, you don't have to do it alone. You can find a friend to join you on camera using Smiletime, and you can both go live at the click of a button. So there you have it. You don't have to be solo. And in fact, it takes less preparation to do a show with somebody else than it does to do a solo show. That's my thoughts on it anyway. And I quite enjoy Monday afternoons. In fact, I look forward to Mondays. And this is one of the reasons why. Okay, now, does anybody else have any questions at all? as we said, we just agreed, we're going to do a YouTube-centric program next Monday. So if you have any questions about YouTube and going live on YouTube, if you can either post them now or bring them with you. If you're watching the replay, just post it there, or you can post in. And we've been remiss today with everything that's been going on today that we haven't mentioned LVS 17, which is the group that David, John, and I run. And you're more than welcome to come in there, and we will answer any questions you have on live broadcasting. Whether you've been broadcasting 2 years, 2 weeks, or you're just thinking about it, you can come into LVS 17, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. I'm going to take that off there. And Kevin, right, okay. And Corinda has a question for you, David. Which microphone are you using? Which microphone?
Oh, this is the Blue Spark Digital. It is the so there's a Blue Spark, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
There's a Blue Spark that's been out for a while. The Blue Spark Digital has the ability to be able to connect to an iOS device because it has a Lightning connector, or you can connect it to anything that accepts a USB input. Why am I using this versus a Yeti? When I moved my office around and my area that I broadcast from, I just wanted to use this more, and it was easier to just do that while I was already moving. It's got the same quality, I would say, as the Yeti. It's certainly smaller, more mobile. So yeah. Anyway, Blue Spark Digital is the name of it.
And Kevin says he misses the multi-person interaction of Blab. In normal times, Kevin, you could just hop on to Smiletime and you could join us on screen, and we can have 4 people on screen. No problem at all. Most days. Today's not the day, though.
And Kevin, there is actually a potential answer for you. There's Wiki. WEKIKI. Wiki. Gives you the ability for 4 people on screen, chat on the side. They're 2 weeks old today. You can give them a shot and see if that works. A lot of people are enjoying it. A lot of people are reminiscent now of some reasons why they left Blab in the first place. Don't go after dark would be my suggestion.
And well, yeah, I just before I'll take that off because I don't want to talk about the two at the same time. Wiki is a public party, and you should be aware of trolls. But that said, you decide who comes into your party, you decide who leaves by the back door, and you can help them on their way. So if you want to go live, 4 people on screen, Wiki is free to use, and David and I enjoy hanging out there occasionally, but not after midnight, as David said. Now, I'm talking of time. I'm going to be thankful when next Monday comes around, David, because the clocks will have changed in the UK, and no longer will I get confused. It wasn't a problem in other years because, but there's this US and the UK have melded sort of, and we met in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant, except for when our clocks don't change at the same time.
Yeah.
And another question from Peter about the microphone. Do you need feedback with that microphone? In other words, do you need earbuds, you're saying?
Oh, do I not get feedback with that microphone? 98% of the time, no. Things can happen where it might start picking up, but it's not doing it now. It's a condenser mic, so it's actually designed. And this is one of the importance of using an external mic. To go back to the original thing, one of the things that we were talking about originally, which was audio. A lot of people. I'll tell people, just go live. Use the camera. The best camera you can have is the one that you got with you. I will tell you that if you're using your laptop and you're using the webcam that's built in or something, then you will need to use like the headset if it's Mac or something of that nature. Use a headset that's got a earbuds and microphone to it. Because the microphones that are built into the systems are not designed really for this type of this type of communication. That's not what they were designed for. So they're going to pick up whatever's coming through the speakers.
Yeah.
The reason that you're not hearing it now is because that's what an external mic really should be doing. Is one thing is making sure that it's not picking up external noises. Now, again, this is a condenser mic, so it's designed to not pick up Steven's voice from my speakers. It actually hears it. It just kind of filters them back out.
Yeah. Now, the reason for Peter asking, I do know, is that he doesn't like wearing the earbuds.
Yeah.
So if he was to invest in a mic like the one that you've described, then 98% of the time, because we can never be, you said 98%, then it will stop any feedback. So there is potential.
Yeah, and usually, and it's only, and when I say 98% of the time, I am talking about doing this type of stuff, this WebRTC live video through your desktop type thing. The 2% when it happens is because something's blipped somewhere. Otherwise, it would be 100% of the time. It's an awesome mic. And usually you never see me with earbuds on. If you do see me with earbuds on, it's because something might have been happening. And so just to eliminate all possibilities, I just put the earbuds on. But rarely do you see my videos with it like that.
If you watch any of my Udemy courses, shout out for my Udemy courses, you'll find that I've got earbuds in, even though I don't need them, because I'm so used to wearing them. But as David said, the mic is one answer, Peter. And just to show that we are going multi-platform today, a question for Corinda, which I'll take. One question for Stephen: with Be Live TV, can you go on Q&A? Can you bring people on? With a Be Live Q&A, can you bring people on screen? No, you can't. Be Live Q&A is one person on screen. If you do a Be Live face-to-face, then it's two people on screen. And if you do a BeLive.tv talk show, which is in beta at the moment, not available to everybody, you can have three people on screen and you can swap around. So that's the direct answer to that. And Corinda's saying he'll get confused when the clocks go by. I want my brain's wired to say, right, it's 4 p.m. in the UK and it's 11 a.m. on the East Coast. It's hardwired. I can't remove the programming.
Well, next week it will be that way.
I know.
Next week it'll be 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. GMT or BST. Or
okay.
Whatever.
Do you want? Right. If there are any more questions, please ask them. If you want to come on camera, I think we'll just give it a miss this week. We'll be back next week, and you can come on camera. And we plan to do a YouTube feature. Right. If you've got questions, put them in. Otherwise,
I think we're done.
I think we're done. David,
I think if you've got questions, you can if you're not a part of LVS 17, please join us there. If you are a part of LVS 17, you're watching this video and you've got questions and you're watching the replay, thank you very much. Just post them down below and we'll be happy to get to them as quickly and the best as we can. And if we can't answer them, no one else can. So we'll just suck it up and go someplace else. No, I'm just kidding.
Indeed. We do know what we're talking about. We're between us. Right. Okay. So thank you, and we'll see you next week, same time.
Sounds
Bye
good.
for now.
Right.
Right. Can you hang around, David, just for a sec?
For a sec, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.